Hey guys, Eric Tarr here for the ProAudiofiles.com. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 basic methods of creating pitch shifting effects inside a digital audio workstation. The basic idea or concept of a pitch shifting effect is to give you as the audio engineer the ability and control to change the frequency of a recorded signal, to increase the frequency or decrease the frequency. It's up to you then to decide how you want to use this as a creative effect. There are several different methods to do this. I'm going to show you a very primitive method first that kind of replicates how pitch shifting effects were originally created on an analog tape machine. Recording on an analog tape machine, an engineer would have to choose how fast the tape was going to go through the machine. What you could do after you've recorded is play back the tape at the wrong tape speed. If you played it back at a faster tape speed or a slower tape speed, it would change the pitch. The first thing I'm going to show you is how you can do a similar sort of thing in a digital audio workstation. This is going to recreate some of those famous vocal sounds like Alvin and the Chipmunks, where you would pitch shift it up, play it back at a faster speed, and it changed the tone and timbre of someone's voice. Or you could play it back at a slower speed, and it would kind of give you a much lower voice. There are also some more musical examples of using this kind of effect on a tape machine, where the Beatles recorded the piano solo on In My Life at the wrong tape speed intentionally so they could play it back to fit with the key of their song. Just several examples of doing this sort of effect. How you can replicate this in a digital audio workstation is just change the speed or the length of this signal that you've recorded. I'm going to be working with this vocal recording here that goes along with this acoustic pop song. Let me play the song and then get to the different methods.
When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a beat.
First thing I'm going to do is show you how to use time compression and time expansion to change the length of this file, essentially playing it back at the wrong speed. I'm going to accomplish this by using something called elastic audio. It's ability for your digital audio workstation, Pro Tools, to change the length of a file, to compress it in time or expand it over time. I'm going to do this here by turning on a specific one called Vary Speed. This is going to replicate the idea of the tape machine, playing it back at a different speed. Now that I've got it turned on and analyzed, what I'm going to do, I've got this clip highlighted, come up here to the top, find Clip, and find the Elastic Properties menu. Here, I have the ability to go in and do time compression and time expansion. So I can make it twice as long by typing in 200%. You can see that now the signal has been stretched out. Let's listen to how it sounds.
When are you coming, honey, back to me?
So the result is that I've pitch shifted it down by 12 semitones or 1 octave. I'm going to undo this, go the opposite direction. Here, I'll go up time compression and expansion factor of 50%. Now it's going to be half as long. Let's listen to the pitch now.
When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a beat. But there's gotta be a better way to say the things that might.
So I've gone up, pitch shifting up 12 semitones or 1 octave. Now, this sort of effect, it accomplishes the pitch shifting. The issue that comes up though is I've also changed how that signal lines up with the rest of my song. So if I were to go in and have, it be half the length, let's listen to the vocal in the context of the song.
When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a beat. But there's gotta be a better way to say the things that might just help me understand.
So what I've done is thrown off how the signal synchronizes with the rest of my track. And that's a problem. This is a very primitive method of doing pitch shifting, so it might not work in all situations, especially if you're trying to make sure your signal still lines up with your song. So I'm going to show you a second method then that's going to preserve the timing information of the signal. This is going to be a similar thing, except I'll use an audio suite processor. Up here, I've got the clip highlighted. I'm going to go into pitch shift and turn on pitch 2. This is an audio suite processor that analyzes and processes the entire signal at one time. So if I wanted to go down by an octave, I could go from middle C down to an octave below, change it by 12 semitones, and render that whole file. You'll see that the timing is actually preserved.
When When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a...
Or I could go in the opposite direction. I could go up an octave.
When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a bee.
And if I like, there's a parameter on here called the mix knob or mix slider that will allow me to blend in some of the original unprocessed or the correct pitch to go along with the octave. So now, if I were to render this, you'll hear both the correct original signal and also the one that's been pitch shifted.
When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a bee.
So this works pretty well with vocals. It's also an interesting effect to consider for things like bass or also electric guitar. Now, this is the audio suite processor that processes the entire signal at one time. This isn't the only way to do it though. There's also a version of a plugin that runs in real time that I'll turn on over here under the pitch shift. It's also called pitch 2. The interface looks very similar. The only difference is now when I play back the signal, what I can do is make changes on the fly. It doesn't have to render the entire signal at once.
When are you
Coming, honey, back to me. 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a bee.
But there's gotta be a better way to say the things that might just help me understand you. There's gotta be a better way to say the things I should have told you yesterday.
So that's another method of creating the pitch shifting effect by using the real-time plugin. Now, the limitation of this processor is the fact that all the notes are getting changed by the same amount. All the notes are getting changed up an octave, down an octave, or by some other note in the musical scale. What I'm going to do is show you another processor that then can be used to give you more fine-grained control to pitch shift individual notes. So here, I'm going to change pitch 2 over to another kind of processor. This one is called Melodyne. There are also similar processors or plugins, not just Melodyne, that perform this similar kind of way of analyzing the signal. So here, what you have to do is transfer the signal in first so that the plugin can analyze it. I'm going to turn this one on and play it back.
When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a bee. But there's gotta be a better way to say the things that might just help me understand.
Now that I've played the signal in, what I can do is pick individual notes and change their frequency. So if I want this note here to be up,
When are you coming, honey, back to me?
can make these things go up instead.
When are you coming, honey, back to me? 'Cause I've been lonely as a bird without a bee.
So now you don't have to process the entire signal by the same amount. You can make individual choices about what you want the notes to be. So there's our 4 basic methods of creating pitch shifting effects. Everything from very primitive methods to more sophisticated methods, including this one here called Melodyne. That's all I got for you today. So until next time, take care, guys.